JR, I know you got to learn a ton of life lessons, obviously, playing at OU for all 4 years and then getting drafted by the Patriots. I mean, you got to learn ball from some of the best, head coaches in the game. I think speak a little bit about some of those experiences and some of the things that you did learn through football?
Yeah, it was so I grew up, I played Class A football. I graduated 17 kids in Northeast Oklahoma, Class A. And, from there I went to the University of Oklahoma and got lucky, man, and somehow ended up on the field early. And Coach Gary Gibbs was my coach there for the first 3 years. And Coach Gibbs, man, the one thing I learned about Coach Gibbs he was a family man. Uh, Sometimes we didn't always agree. That's fine. But, man, I just always admired the way he was to his family. And it got tough on him there at the end. And when he finally resigned, it was basically because, his family, he was want to kind of relieve some of that pressure from him. So I always had a great deal of respect for how he handled his wife and his children. And he was a great role model, for how to really be a man and deal with the stuff in life that truly matters. You're going to win, you're going to lose, but that stuff's a lot more important than that. And then got drafted by Coach Parcells, and we had a great staff. Man, on that staff was Steve Belichick and Rack, Romeo Cannell, and Charlie Weiss, and Al Grove. I mean, there was everybody on that, and that's pretty deep. Mangini, all those guys. So got to be around great football. Got to be around really great camaraderie. That accountability was high. Coach Parcells, you see, there's a lot of guys who got a lot of things riding on this. And there's no more truth in the locker room in that league. You got performance is reality. Hang around long enough and be fired. So, but yeah, just learning how to be a pro and learning how to deal with. That was a full pad at every practice, never nights off. Just go get it. So, was fortunate enough to be there with him, and then Pete Carroll came in New England after that, and that really didn't work for me because I was more of a Bill guy. I needed time and pads. I needed those practices, and those reps, that video, being physical, and that just really wasn't jiving for me. They signed some guys, paid a lot of money to, and when I got released, I ended up going back with Chris Parcells to the Jets, and spent time with him there, and then had suffered a big back injury and was out of the league for a while, and then had a cup of coffee in Dallas with Coach Campo. So it was a great run, and like I said, man, I got fired from Parcells twice in my life, and I would take a bullet for him or go work for him today, knowing I'm probably going to get fired again. But I'd do it just because the man he is, what he demands in you. You truly leave there, kind of becoming this young, arrogant, crazy kid to, man, when you leave there, you're going to be set for life because you can deal with anything.
So I leave University of Miami, right? And I get drafted in the second round and go to Denver. And so I walk in the locker room, and who's there but John Elway, right? And and so I was pretty fortunate. I got to play with Kelly in college, John Elway in Denver, and then back down with Testaverde.
God, these guys, it was all you, Mark. You made those guys look good, right?
Well, you know what? I made them famous for their scrambling abilities. What I've been told. And so we had Steve DeBerg, believe it or not. He was at both places with me, and talk about. I mean, he's as good as they get too, man. I tell you, he was something else. I mean, I don't know how to explain. Steve was a guy that could stay out all night and throw for 300 or 400 yards the next morning. I mean, he was that kind of guy, and like a Stabler, kind of reputation, and a scrapper. I mean, he'd punch you right in the mouth if he didn't like what you had to say to him. He's a tough guy, I'll tell you. And that was, same with Elway. Elway was a tough guy. Vinny was a tough guy. Kelly, I'm not sure anybody is tougher than Jim Kelly. I mean, especially with all the things he's gone through, 4 Super Bowl appearances, and the cancer he's just recently gone through, and he crashed in an airplane wreck and had to swim to shore one time. I mean, that guy's got 9 lives. He's got some cat in him of some sort. I'll tell you, and I love him to death, man. And so it's fun, again, keeping up with guys like that you played with too. So, I had a weird career. I mean, I'd win a starting job and I'd get dinged and I'd get hurt. I'd blow an ankle. I'd get a, ligament stretch or whatever. So what I did, I'll tell you, it helped me save my career. In other words, I learned every spot on the line. So when we would test, I would test every spot. I knew every spot to play, and I practiced it in every practice, and I'd move around the line of scrimmage, when I didn't have a starting job, trying to get a starting job, and learn every spot. In one game, we played Houston one year, and I started at the right guard spot, moved over to left guard spot for about two quarters, finished out at the left tackle spot, and played one snap at right when our tackle's shoe came off, and it was a second down. So I ran over there, played one snap, came back over and finished out the left tackle spot, and got a game ball for doing it, because I played all those spots during one game. And Houston was a pretty good football team back then. Houston and the Steelers and the Raiders, and we're all known for being pretty big hitting teams. I mean, those were guys you battled with every down, and a little dirty on the side along with the Raiders. But so that's something that helped me. So I got cut in Denver, right? And immediately I'm in Tampa, and go down there and I finish out the season down there at left tackle, and that's where I meet Mike Simmons. So Mike comes in, he's playing a guard spot down there, and I'm playing a left tackle spot down there, and they draft Paul Gruber. Well, Paul Gruber, that's another funny thing. When you're on a football field, a guy's better than you almost instantaneously. And I would watch film on different guys and try and get better. Everybody has their own style. Your stance is a little different, this and that. And, you try and tweak your game to, be like an Anthony Munoz, or, you watch the better guys in the league trying to see what they do differently that you can try and do better, So I was one of those guys all the time watching film on different guys around the league as well. But, again, those relationships, you build, in the trenches and in the locker room, and stuff become life lasting.